your head crushes the pillows at night and that you sleep just sound.
Oh,
I gotta say, I was made a comment about hiking 28.3 miles earlier, and that you needed training. I hadn't done that many miles in one day, and a little bit of time. I felt pretty good doing it. I actually felt fine afterwards too. I could tell I was tired. And then when I woke up the next morning, definitely sore. And I was sore for a few days. I mean, definitely calves and stuff, but just kind of typical stuff. Nothing too bad. But we were hiking like 19-minute mile, 19 minutes a mile. So we're like, I think they say like the average hiker is like 30 minutes a mile. So we weren't like super slow. But that night, dinner, we'll talk about that night's dinner. I say in a little different segment, but we obviously ate and had a good time with that. But that night particularly was good. The first night was good too because I drank a lot, and so I was having a good time. Which starts to make me think the podcast should be Aaron drinks a lot with Jeff, or Aaron and Jeff drink a lot. I don't know. Seems like that's the current thing, but I know that we don't, but that's just what we're saying. Every time I keep saying like, we drank again. We drank again. Here's a beer. Here's a beer. Here's a podcast about a beer. So it's just
damn. We got another beer review we got to do. Did you get the beer?
The Tailblazers, sponsored by AA. I mean, I don't know.
They're going to sponsor us.
It might be the only sponsor we get.
Sponsored by some distributor that distributes alcohol.
Anyway, I'm just hanging on to we might get a sponsor one day. That'd be cool. So
that'd be awesome.
We sit down, we eat, we relax, we have a few drinks. Kelly was going to go to bed a little bit early that night. She had a whiskey.
This was Saturday night, right?
Yeah, she had a whiskey, but that didn't happen. And now I have to go into people watching because Kelly did make a point at one time that our tent, the way our fire was, and we were like some of the few people that were actually facing everyone else, and everybody else was facing away from the road and looking into the woods or by their to their campsite. But we were actually, our backs were to our campsites, and we were looking back at everyone else. So we were actually face a different direction.
Yeah.
Now, I came up to a few things, like you said earlier. You can really tell a lot of person about the way they camp. And some of the things that I noticed in the camp trip was our neighbor to our right, who I would call the hermit campers. Okay.
Oh, they had facing the campsite.
They're on the right.
So if we're looking at the fire, they're directly behind us.
Yeah, they're directly behind us. I named them the hermit campers. And the reason I did is because they had a really nice REI tent. I'm not sure what kind it was. But they had a nice REI tent that had an extension, a huge vestibule that they could fit 2 chairs in that vestibule. And
then some, probably 3.
Yeah, probably if they really wanted to be 3, but did 2 very comfortably for sure. Yeah. And they sat in that thing just pretty much all day. Now, granted, we didn't see them when we were hiking, but when we were there, I didn't see them really cook. I didn't really see them. I don't know if they ate. I'm not sure.
But I did notice they were up. They were up pretty early. They might have been up before we were.
Yeah, they were up kind of early. I agree with you there. And they were gone. And they were gone quick the second night too. But they sat there in that vestibule, like just chilling, and went to bed really early. Didn't really ever sit outside. Never had a fire. Didn't cook over a fire. They seemed to have a good time. It was a girl, a dog, and a man. I would not have enjoyed the same trip they did, but more power to them.
Don't know the relationship.
Right.
But that's the 3.
We had another group that came through with a family. I think that family had a good time. I'd call them the family campers. They had 2 boys.
The camper family.
The camper family. And that might be their last names. The camper family had a good time. They had boys that kept them active. They were out and about. They were doing really good. So that was also nice. Now, we did have a group come in that was 2 tents. The camper family were to the 2 tents away from us, campsites away from us. Our neighbors on our left on Saturday night, I hadn't named because they were just vanilla. They were just vanilla. Vanilla. They're vanilla. They're just bored.
That was Friday night.
No, that was Saturday night going into Sunday. They didn't do much of anything. Came in later.
Yeah.
They cooked. Like, they got some sticks from somewhere, like somebody.
No, they had the park gave them some
the
stuff.
park host guy came and gave them some sticks, and I mean we're talking just enough sticks to create a little bit of fire.
Enough for a dog toy.
Dog. Yeah, they ate the dog. They had a dog. Everybody had a dog there for some reason, but they had a dog. And it just ate their sticks. That's all it really did. And they cooked.
Put them on the picnic table. The dog kept grabbing them off.
They cooked. Yeah, they cooked. I don't know what they cooked really, but they at least cooked over the fire. They ate and went to bed. And this is pretty early.
They stood a little bit in one of those dark. They were around the fire, but a little bit, but not too much. And then you couldn't really see them, and because their fire was pretty puny.
Yeah, so that was pretty great. Now, the last group of family. Now there was, of course, we're away from the RV kind of tent style, camping. Or that's not tent, but that's RV camping. We weren't by them. There was a group over there that was definitely loud and obnoxious. And I don't mean obnoxious that it was pissing me off. It just mean that they were, if you weren't them, they were definitely interrupting you. But they weren't terrible. They did go to bed at night at least. They're fine. They're way off. I didn't get a name for them or even know much about them, but I could hear them. I'd call them the echo campers because I could only a little bit hear them. And I didn't know of them, but I knew they were there. Now, the one guy that I want to do, I call him the no-shoe tent guy. Okay, so I don't know if you've noticed, but today I named all the campers I saw that stuck out in my head, and I gave them all names. And so the no-shoe tent guy.
How can I notice when your notes are there and I'm not there? So
I didn't know if you could tell.
Can you notice my notes?
No, but I'm saying, I don't know if you noticed by the way I'm talking.
Barcode.
Yeah, I don't know if you know the way I'm talking that I have named them. I had thought about what their names were and what their presence on my memory will be. So
I just like that you pointed out that you noted their nicknames.
I noted that you know. I noted you.
Yeah. That's great.
So no shoe tent guy. He was my favorite.
Shoe.
So there we are in the first morning hike. We left this off because it was just right. We were coming back from the hike. We had
we passed the scouts.
We had circled back and we finally found the trail exactly we needed to get back. And we were really close. And here comes a family, a bigger gentleman. Doesn't really matter that he's big. The size doesn't matter in any of them. There was a female and a male, and it looked like their kid. Clearly their kid. And he was carrying his shoes, and he was walking barefoot. And he was a very chipper guy. One of those guys that just wanted to really kind of make sure you knew that he was like in the woods and that he was doing like wood stuff and like he was a man and he was back to where like he had all began, primal kind of feeling. And he said, "Hey, how's it going?" I said, "Good, it's great. Temperature was great." I said, temperature's good. And he's made a comment about saying, "Oh yeah, it's like somebody turning on the air conditioner outside." Yeah, I guess.
Yep.
So we continue walking. Now,
I can say that is accurate.
I will say that when he was talking to me, I try to talk to people and I look at him in the eye, but I had a hard time because I noticed he was carrying his shoes. So I stared at his feet instead. So he talked to me and I looked at his feet. And he had, he's just walking barefooted. And I noticed too on his stride that the way he's walking. I mean, he's having to watch where he's stepping so he doesn't step on anything that's going to poke him in the foot. Anyway, I thought not much of it. That was Friday. That was Saturday morning. Saturday night rolls around, and it's pretty clear. No shoe tent guy, he is dedicated. I mean, he is at this point when he walks.
Oh, show.
He's got. I mean, his feet are the soles of his feet are like as black as this microphone I have in front of me. I mean, it was dark. Yeah, it's probably his heart. He's dark as his heart. And
I was saying it's probably as hard as black as his foot is.
I thought you said it was dark as his heart. I assumed he was.
No, I didn't say hard.
Okay.
He's dedicated to being outside with no shoes. That's how much heart he has. but he is not. His feet are not black hard. They're black hard.
His feet look like carbon or coal. And his heart was stupid too. His stupid heart. I don't like him. Anyway.
Oh, come on. He enjoys his heart.
Yeah, well, I get to make judgments from where I was at. So I continue to watch this man watch where he was taking every footstep, every step he took, like just constantly making sure that he walked in a place that he didn't step on something that would stick him in a foot. And I thought so many times if he would have just put shoes on, it would have been better. And as I sat by the fire, I even commented on it to you guys. And of course, my wife, being the bring you back to reality type for me, at least, she said, "Hey, you walk around with your shoes off all the time." And I think you even chimed in.
I did.
But I couldn't compete with this guy.
I said, Aaron, he's showing you up.
Right. And I'm just saying I couldn't compete with this guy. This guy had a level of stupidity, maybe, dedication, most likely, that I just didn't have. It just didn't feel like I needed to do it. So I may walk around my backyard, may walk around a lot of places barefoot. This one seemed like a weird spot for me because I don't know where everybody else was thrown. Anyway, that one was weird. So they got a kid. The kid's playing with the neighbor's kids. And they had a good time, and they all finally go to bed. Well, no shoe tick guy, who at this point you have to assume by the fact that he's walking around barefoot, we know that this isn't his first time. And here's why. He was walking with a little bit of speed, meaning that he has built calluses on his feet, and he is capable and probably maybe an experienced camper. That's what I assume from that. Because if not, or he's just walking around barefoot a lot. I noticed he can't get a fire to go on worth crap. I mean, he blew on that.
He worked on that damn fire ever since we got back from hiking. Mm-hmm. He worked on that fire.
And Jeff would be out there just, putting a log on ours, and we got like big old, he'd throw some of the logs on there, and it's just big old nice. Yeah, no, but I'm just, we got to this point that this continued a while. Like, I mean, him starting it was, oh man, I know he had to be red in the face of much blowing he was doing. He was just, whoo, 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 just puffing and blowing. I mean, he was like the 3 bad wolves or whatever, just all at once. It was bad. Anyway.
Give him some knee pads.
Yeah. I mean, somebody get this guy some knee pads. He's trying to start a fire. That's what. Next time I go camping, bring in knee pads. Next time I see somebody that's having a time starting a fire, they're down there blowing it because it's a little damp and they can't get a fire going. I'm going to walk over with knee pads. I'm going to say, I think you need it.
And you just throw it in his face.
Yeah, throw it in his freaking face. That'll show him.
There you go. Come prepared next time.
Yeah. Learn to start a fire. So anyway, and so they just sat there on top of smoke for the longest time. Their tent had a smoke.
It was still during the day though.
Yeah, so it was.
So it wasn't like
they needed a lighter.
It wasn't at night or anything, but it was still pretty bad because I remember like we were just watching it. And he's over there doing what he's doing. I don't know if he's blowing on it or whatever he's doing. He's just trying to get it going. He got a load. He got like, I don't know, three things to load from the park that morning. And but he was constantly at the fire, looking around it with his hands on his hip, wondering if it's going to start on its own. I don't really know, but eventually he got it going.
Yeah, he eventually did. And, he actually did cook something on a pot there, which I got a lot of respect for. I like a good person that can cook. I mean, a person that can cook on a fire. And no shoe tent guy did do it. And actually, at one point, he's banging on the probably cast iron. It sounded like I could say, "Oh, the dinner bell," told Jeff. But at this point, I don't want his.
He should have went over there with our bowls.
Yeah, I don't know if I want it. I'm not sure that I really wanted anything from him. Maybe if I was really hungry. But so night proceeds. We'll talk about our conversations a little bit and what we did there in a second. But I just want to kind of follow up with this no shoe tent guy, so I get done with him and I can finally put him to sleep. He night went on. We were having a lot of conversation.
Go to sleep, Blackfoot.
Again, I love Blackfoot. That's probably his trail name, I guess. Oh my gosh.
You wish you would have put that in your notes.
I wish I'd have called him. Little Blackfoot. Anyway, that's funny. So there you are. He's got his